Hey everyone, welcome to Home Matters, the podcast where we help you make the most informed decisions for your home renovation and improvement projects. Whether you're swapping out windows, tackling a kitchen makeover, or getting a new roof, we've got the tips, the tricks, and the insights that you need. So let's get into today's topic. Welcome back to Home Matters, the podcast that makes you make your home, well, more homely. I'm your host, Alex. And today we're diving into a topic that is crucial for anyone considering home renovations: how to avoid home improvement scams. So you're adding a room, renovating that basement, or just doing some necessary repairs, right? It's all about making your house feel like a home. But it's not just about choosing the right paint or fixtures, the colors, the flooring. It's about finding someone that you can trust to do the job. And unfortunately, not every contractor out there has your best interest at heart. Now, whether you go to a review platform, a directory, ask a neighbor, a coworker, that also may not be enough to protect yourself. So picture this: you hire someone to revamp your kitchen. And I personally have friends who've gone through this and have seen people in the business go through this, especially with a kitchen for some reason, right? I think because there are so many moving parts when you're doing a kitchen remodel, right? So they'll promise you the moon, they'll take your money, take your deposit, order the material, they start to do the work, but then you find that the work is shoddy or worse, it's just an unfinished job. You're calling the contractor, they're not picking up, their workers are gone, they've taken their tools. Sometimes they leave their tools behind, they don't even care, right? Because not everyone is a professional. Not everyone cares about your home like you care, right? So it becomes a nightmare. So for you, you want to figure out how you can avoid this exact situation. And it can happen whether you're doing electrical, plumbing, roofing, windows, all the different projects that we've discussed here on the Home Matters podcast. So let's talk about some of the red flags. Look, to me, a contractor who shows up at your door claiming that they're just in the area is a big red flag. They're going to try to pressure you to make a snap decision, which we all need time to think about things. And in fact, someone showing up at your door is the same thing as an ad or a telemarketer calling you. You're not asking them to offer you anything. You weren't in need of that product or service at that time, but they came. So that's what you call a cold lead for them. And their job, whether they're selling home services or they're selling cable or internet, whatever they're selling, you weren't asking for that product right at that minute. And for them, they're hoping that you are going to feel the pressure and make a bad decision right there on the spot. So a big warning is if they only accept cash, never do that. Or they want full payment up front. And if they ask you to handle permits, then that's a no-go zone. So obviously, that there's a big jump from signing an agreement to taking payment to having you handle a permit. But sometimes these things happen quickly because these sales guys, which is typically what they understand what those buttons are. They understand human behavior and they're hoping that you're going to fall for theirs. But don't worry, there are ways to shield yourself from these scams. First, always opt in for a licensed and insured contractor whose business is located preferably in your state. And I'd go a step further, preferably in your county that you can check right there on the spot. Ask for a copy of their license insurance and then check it with the internet. Go on and go to the city and to the county and the state and check it and say, look, I'm going to first look at your credentials. I'm going to talk to my spouse. I'm going to talk to my kids. I'm going to talk to my neighbors. I'm going to do my due diligence. Do not pressure me. You have to look someone in the eye as a homeowner and say, look, this is my home. I understand you might just be selling me pressure cleaning or, installing a fence or whatever the case is. But I am not making any decisions today. I'm not signing any contracts. Leave me your information. I'm going to see if I can get recommendations from a friend. Please give me a list of your referrals. Not one, not two, three. Give me 10 people you've worked with in my zip code who are happy with your work, right? And then don't forget to go to the website and read their reviews and then, more importantly, get multiple estimates. So maybe at that moment where they came door to door, you weren't in need of a new roof, but now you got the thinking, and maybe your insurance company is saying you need a new roof, and one thing leads to another. And I'm telling you this because this recently happened to my folks, where they didn't think they needed a new roof, but before you knew it, they were in the process of doing a new roof. So these things happen that way, right? But look, don't just give up a deposit. Obviously, the low ball, tactic is a big one, where typically they want to do it on a handshake, not a contract. These contractors will lowball you and tell you, well, it's only going to cost X. But in fact, once they start ordering material and once they're in your home, now they are going to, increase the cost of both the material and the labor, right? So contract is important. You got to have everything in black and white, including the details, the estimated dates of delivery, installation, scope of work. Just never sign a contract with a blank space or without understanding every word. And more importantly, understand who is signing the contract on the other end. Are they a subcontractor? Are they an employee? How are they related to the owners that are on the company information on, let's say, for Florida Sunbiz? Are they listed there? That's who I want. I want their signature, and make sure that you're not indemnifying or choosing to go to an arbitrator. Maybe you are choosing to go to a venue in a different state. Have someone reads, or an attorney read the contract, because you don't want to be in a contract where they can, put a lien in your house. So I actually had this happen to me years ago. I contracted a local pest control company, and this was actually someone I knew. And they sent out the people and they said, okay, we're going to do this quarterly pest control thing in your home, in my townhome. And I said, sure, no problem. And every quarter they would come by and do their, pest control stuff. I was happy with the service. They were getting paid. Well, what I didn't know was I was in an auto pay and my credit card expired. This happens, right? And instead of them contacting me one to one, actually a phone call, they were sending mail to my house, already threatening to put a lien in our house. And I thought, well, that's very strange. Just because you missed one payment, you can't just put a lien in someone's home. But in fact, that was the contract that I had agreed to, was that they could put a lien in my house within 30 days of non-payment. And I didn't get that letter. And you lose things. But they never called me, and they don't have a responsibility to call me, believe it or not. The state doesn't require that these people do this. So look, I ended up with a lien on my townhome. Yes, I paid them. There was no problem there. I would never do business with a company like that again, because, you have to communicate with people. And we're not talking about thousands of dollars. This was like a couple $100. So tacky. What a flaky company, but it did happen to me, and I know others that it has to too. So make sure that you have the contractor or the company signed off and waive their right to putting a lien on your home, right? So not all companies are going to agree to this, but I'm going to make the company do that, because I want to protect myself. Right? If you do shoddy work and I don't pay you because we have a disagreement, now you're going to get to put a lien on my home? I don't think so. Now, one of the trickier ones that you have to look for in a scam is the one with the home improvement loan, right? Contractors may offer to arrange the financing, but they're getting a kickback, right? And the terms are unfair because it's not even their financing, it's a third-party company. And you just need to shop around for your own financing, because if you're not going to be able to pay with cash, or when I say cash, I mean a check or a credit card, the best way to pay a contractor is really with a credit card. Then you need to be able to research your bank and other organizations that do home improvement loans, right? So if things go south, try to resolve it with the contractor first, definitely. But I understand that in some cases, the contractor is not going to be, forthcoming. He or she's not going to be responsive. So you really want to just contact your state attorney. Obviously, you want to contact the local, the Consumer Protection Office, and even local media and consumer helplines. Believe me, when the contractors know that you are out there putting out their information, then they may change their tone, right? But again, make sure first that it's a real company. Make sure that, you're very careful if it's someone that's door to door. Don't accept free inspections. Don't allow anyone in your home. That this happens. People just come to your door And then next thing you know, they're offering you something for free, but then they're charging you for it. I also don't like the flyer situation. Recently, I had a flyer and I called the company and they were rude. When I went to look them up online, believe it or not, in this day and age, a company did not have a website, but what they did have, which they didn't control, was the bad reviews. And they just refused to have any online presence. Today, I mean, in this day and age, no online presence, no website, nothing. But they did have 3.2 stars. So hundreds of people that gave them bad reviews. Now, had I not looked at that, I probably would have done business with them based on their the great offer that came in the mail with one of those little flyers. So I definitely look, if you are looking to avoid on how to get scammed, the one thing you have to do more than anything is take your time. Whatever the project you're trying to do, take your time. If it's a project that's an emergency, like you need a new air conditioner or water heater, you have a leak or some electrical problem that needs to be taken care of right away, you know, that's fine. I understand you're going to make, quicker decisions. You're not going to have as many contractors come out. But you still should do all the, go through the checklist of like, is it a real company? Did they give me their references? Do I have insurance? Do I really understand what this company is all about? Because if you take all those steps, chances are you are not going to get scammed. So those are just some of the few things that I would recommend, no matter where you are in the United States. I mean, it matters. This is your home, and you don't want to end up in a situation where someone is taking advantage of you. That's it for today's episode of Home Matters. If you found this information helpful, make sure that you share it with someone that you know who's planning a home improvement. And as always, happy and safe renovating. Catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Home Matters podcast. Remember, a great home starts with making smart choices. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on a new episode. For more resources or to get in touch with a trusted local contractor, check out localcontractor.co. Until next time, take care and happy renovating.